Hey everybody, my name is Tyler Lay, and this video is about how to be a hero. Wouldn't it be awesome if we had more heroes walking around? What is a hero? It's somebody that's willing to help someone else in need. Why don't we have more of those? We'll talk specifically about why don't we have more people helping other people. And then we'll give you some skills so that you can build your hero abilities. You hear it all the time. Somebody was mistreated. They let somebody else know about it and they didn't say anything. This in psychology is called the bystander effect. Queens, New York, 1964. A woman named Catherine Genovese. She's in her neighborhood. She's attacked and she's killed. The attack sadly takes place over 35 minutes. She's screaming, calling for help, and it was observed by 38 people. And none of them helped her. None of them went outside to help her. None of them called the police. And every one of them admit to seeing the event. This raised a huge uproar when it happened. People talked about humanity is crumbling, or they talked about, no, it's just those people from New York. It's not. Darley and Latane, they did a series of experiments, legendary experiments, where they had all kinds of dangers, and they forced people to observe them, to see them. Now, these weren't real dangers. These were pretend dangers, but they had different groups of people see them. And if the group was made up of one person, a single person, there was an 85% chance that when that single person was confronted with that event, that they helped. When there was multiple people in the situation, the amount that people helped dropped to 30%. Why does this happen? It's not clear sometimes if something is an emergency. We see all kinds of things in this world. What do people really need help for and what do they not? And people look at their surroundings to try to get more information about this. They also may think that someone else will get help, or maybe they already have gotten help, and therefore, I don't need to. The Princeton Seminary by Darley and Batson, and is centered around the Good Samaritan story from Luke 25:37. There's a person that's a trader that's going from city to city. They're actually attacked by a thief. They're bloodied, they're beaten, they're on the side of the road, they're in bad shape, literally left for dead. People are walking by this road and they see them and they're not stopping. The story talks about rich people see them. Priests, people of the church walk by and see them. No one helps them. But the Samaritan is a good, working, kind-hearted person. They do help them. They pick them up. They take them to the next village. They give the innkeeper money. They tell them to take care of them, and they'll be back to check on them. This is the story of the Good Samaritan. This is a story of a hero helping another person. So a group of seminary students were asked to join a speech contest. One group was asked to give a speech, specifically a sermon, about the Good Samaritan. The other group was just asked to give a sermon about the benefits of the church. These students were checked in at one building, and then they were told that they need to give their speech in another building. And along the path, there was an actor that was purposely laying in the road, almost to the point where the students would have to walk over them. And the students, though, were told that they had 3 different amounts of time. One group was said, you got to get over there. You got to hurry. It's almost your turn. The other group was said, you know what? You need to move quickly, but you've got some time. And the other group said, we need you to get over that building. Don't worry about it. You got plenty of time. And if you look at how often people were willing to help someone else, it was only dependent on how rushed they were. It didn't matter if they'd been studying the Good Samaritan. They were literally about to give a speech about helping other people and how that's great, and they stepped over another person that needed help. They didn't follow their own speech that they were about to give. And it didn't matter if they were that or if they were just talking about the church in general. It only depended on how much of a hurry they were in. If they were in this rush state, you got to get over there, you got to go. Only 1 in 10% helped. If you're at a medium hurry, about 45%, about 1 out of 2 helped. And if you were in low amounts of hurry, 63% of the people. All of these examples I've been talking about, all these case studies, people behave differently when they're in groups and when they're hurried. And this is instinctively wired into our brains from thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We need to act as our group does. We need to stay within our group because that help keeps us safe. If we have to get someplace, from one place to another, it's probably for our safety in the past, right? In the caveman days. And when we're worried about our safety, we're not as likely to help other people. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the past. We don't live in the time when saber-toothed tigers chased us around. We live in the time when things are much more relaxed, but we still have these wired into our brains. And the heroes can overcome this. Notice that in each one of these studies, there was a minority of people that were different. These people did not follow the others. These are the heroes. Why are these people different? These people have courage. They have courage to not follow others and do something different. You can practice courage, just like math, reading, writing, or whatever subject you want. What's courage? It's doing the right thing, even if it's hard, or not intuitive, or not natural. So how can you train to be a hero? I think you got to change your mind. The first is to create a journaling habit. I journal every day. One thing I do is I say, what is one person that I'm grateful for and why? Then you need to say, how can I be more empathetic? How can I be more in touch with other people's feelings and where they're coming from? You need to write that down. You need to say, what's 3 things that I can do today to be more empathetic? Or what are 3 things that I did yesterday that I could have done differently to be more empathetic? And then you can name 3 heroes, 3 people that you've seen in your life that they are a hero, and write down the specific example on how they were a hero and what they did. You need to act like you have courage. Sometimes you'll get into circumstances and you don't know what to do. You feel nervous. You need to act like it. You need to assume a courageous, strong posture. Or something that I do sometimes, I just yell like I'm the Incredible Hulk or something. Act like I have courage. Act like I'm driven and spirited. And it'll come. Try it. You need to do things that scare you. And we're going to show one example here of Hope. Hope decided that in the middle of January, she was going to go jump into a lake in Oklahoma. Phil Zimbardo. You talk about a guy that knows about courage and heroes. You should look up Phil Zimbardo. He talks about being a deviant for a day, putting this square on your head and walking around for a day and seeing if people ask you about it. Here's Javier Dorian, where he did this and sent a picture to Tim Ferriss. Here's another quote that Tim Ferriss turned me on to. Hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. That applies to being a hero. That applies to a lot of things. Thanks, everybody. Take care.